So Ellie, you will not have to get seated until the last application.
So I just sit here and don't vote or don't anything, correct?
You can ask questions.
You can participate in
Right.
discussion.
You just can't vote, and once the public hearing part is closed, then you can.
Discuss.
Correct.
Got it. Very good.
You read the rules.
Sort of.
Yeah, she came last time, first time, instantly seated.
Well, nothing like tossing you off the deep end,
That's
right?
what I thought.
Exactly.
But it was interesting, and I came back.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Some don't.
I do think it's interesting, so we'll see how much more I don't know.
I haven't even met Thomas yet.
Have you?
The new alternate?
Yeah, he was here once, yeah.
Oh, yes, I did meet him. You're right. Right. He wasn't here last time.
No.
I was surprised. I woke up and it was about 7:30. I'm like, oh, it was about 7:30, 7:45. And I told my wife, I said, I got a meeting right now I'm supposed to be at here. But I'm looking, I'm seeing no phone calls. I'm nothing, not Pam tracking me down. So I actually managed to go on YouTube and the live stream, like, you got enough. No. Good, how are you?
Yeah, we had a foursome actually for that meeting.
Huh?
We only had 4 for that.
Yeah, I know.
It's nice to have a full house. There you go.
We got extra copies. Yeah.
You ready?
So this,
Files aren't here yet, so maybe
Right.
when,
this replaces,
yes,
okay.
yeah, and you might need it if,
Yeah, you've got a bunch of them there, but take that one out.
We good to go, Pam?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Good evening. This is the Town of Winchester Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting for July 26, 2022, called to order at 7 p.m. Being held in the Town Hall at 338 Main Street, the Francis P. Hicks Room, and also being broadcast live on YouTube TV. Present tonight are regular members Paul Marino, myself, Philip Allen, John Pollock, Aubrey English, and Ron Dew. Also present is alternate member Ellie Gunn. Absent, excused, is alternate Thomas Sullivan. The way it works here at ZBA is you need to have 4 affirmative votes for your application to be approved. A simple majority of the 5 seated members is not enough. You have to have at least 4. The way this works is we're going to have the applicant come forward, present their application to us. We'll have a chance to ask some questions, and then once the board's asked questions, we'll open it up to the public for any comments or questions that you may have. And then once we close the public part, we'll ask the applicant for any final comments, and then we'll close the public hearing for that application. The board then votes, and we do, or actually we'll discuss and then vote, and you will have your decision tonight. So, with that, we will call ZBA number 22-5300 for a variance at 205 Perch Rock Trail Applicant is, and owner is Ingrid Pierce, and this is a modification for a variance for a dormer and variance for a fence. If you would come on up. Pam, we've gotten certification of the mailings and the ads, all that.
Yes, yep.
Okay, good.
Give you a copy of this, please. Yeah, thanks.
She's given us all this stuff.
Maybe I should take stock out the staples.
Thank you.
All professional.
Yes.
Hopefully, the third time's the charm.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I put them there.
So if you could kind of refresh us about your application. I know that you were here, was it 2 months ago? And we were looking for more detailed drawings, which it appears you have brought us. So if you would take us through your application again.
So we have an approved, application and.
Just for the record, I'm sorry, anyone who speaks should identify themselves for the
Yes.
record.
If you would state your name for the record, please, and your address.
205 Birch Road. So, we were approved, and, as, I am not a veteran of this, we realized that some of the things we had planned from the inside, or from the outside in, and, found some corrections that we needed to make. So, one of them is the dormer.
just to kind of refresh our memories here a little bit, we're looking to, the dormer is a new change from your variance, right? So we're talking about the dormer, we're talking about the fence.
Correct. I had mistakenly thought it was on the first one, but I didn't write it up correctly.
Okay. And then we're talking about a proposed, this overhang over, proposed addition over driveway, is that overhang? No.
That was there before we reduced it,
Okay.
and the,
Where's the overhang that you talked about over the,
the front entryway, it,
is that on the plan here somewhere?
The front stairs, yes,
Was that on the updated site plan?
yes.
So tonight, just for the record, you submitted elevation drawings, but you're going with the survey prepared by John DeCara dated July 2022, and there's been no revisions to that, is that correct?
He did revise it.
Yeah, I have the 21 here, so this is a year later.
I'm not sure that it got submitted.
This is the 22 one, this is the 21 one.
That-
So
that-
there are differences to the deck. The deck was, like, the rear deck is substantially smaller. It went from 42 feet to 20 feet.
20 by 11, but I'm not seeing the overhang.
I don't see the overhang either. Although I see that proposed addition on the front seems to go over the front steps. So there is something different there.
Yes.
Yeah. Pam, if you look at the, if you look at the proposed addition, it now, rather than stopping at the front walk, it goes over the front walk.
So the proposed addition is 25.25 by 6. What is the proposed overhang in the front door? What's the size of that?
Looking at the drawing, it looks like it's the same 6 feet.
Yeah.
We're not-
Looks like it's
we're not-
continuous from that proposed addition.
So your second floor deck is in fact, is that, are we
That's-
just not reading that you have the walkway, is that's in fact your front door that looks out?
The deck is higher.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. All right.
But it doesn't protect underneath it.
Right, right.
So this is a modification though of that I'm not, you can scale it, but it's not depicted on the drawing, the size of the overhang. What's being proposed,
So-
it sounds like, is that the second floor deck is now gonna become an overhang?
So let's talk about the, maybe we can figure it out here. The proposed addition that's on the front of the house, that is now 6 by 25.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
So that's gonna be, there was an expanded bedroom area, and then it's gonna open up the front entryway, so to give her more space. So right now, when you walk into the existing stair, there's, I think, 3 or 3-foot steps.
Do we have that on one of the building elevations here? Is that shown?
Should be on, well, this doesn't have he shows existing, but he doesn't show the existing line of where the entry is.
But I don't have it on any of these, right?
It should be on one of the old plans, yes. I had original drawings, so I originally submitted it.
So this is the addition, correct?
Yes.
Which is a extension of the bedroom that comes out over the current structure.
Now it's gonna go across, all the way across the front.
This drawing shows it stopping here.
Right.
So what you're saying now is you're bringing an overhang, a cantilever, all the way over to this deck.
Yeah. Well, so it'll actually.
But you don't have, you don't have another plan that shows that, right?
No, there should be a set of the original drawings that was submitted the first time. I had existing and I had proposed.
And just for the record, you were
Don Lee.
architect or?
She
Okay.
does drafting and she's
Okay.
been doing all
Okay.
the design.
See, I'm not seeing like the side yard setback, for this.
Well, actually, it's, side yard, no. He's got a side yard of 13.6 on the,
Proposed addition, and I think that was approved back in the last time she visited.
right. And he has a front yard setback to that overhang over the step of 24.1.
Here's the, I've got the original drawings.
Yep.
There's the front.
Yeah, it stopped originally there. But what we don't have is a side yard measurement from the other side.
Nor a size of the overhang.
6 feet. Isn't it 6
See,
feet?
it goes out 6 feet. How wide is it?
25.25 feet.
No, that's the addition.
Yeah.
That's the whole
it's an
thing.
addition, it's
They're
not
bringing,
really-
from what
Yeah.
What we're hearing is that proposed addition, which is 6 feet, was originally 16 feet. So it was originally 6 by 16, it's now,
It was originally 8 by 16.
Yeah,
and we
8 by
narrowed it
16.
to now it's 6 by 25.
6 by
okay,
10.
right, it was 8 by 16, now it's 6
Okay.
by 25, so.
Which is all enclosed space.
Yes, yeah, so it's not really an overhang, it's enclosed space.
That's where I, okay.
Oh, it's a cantilever.
No, it's enclosed space,
It's
it's
actually-
new
Right.
living space, a
Yeah.
dormer.
That's the,
Yeah.
that's the, basically, an
We got that figured out.
Okay.
So we've got that figured out. So we have a dormer. We have this addition off the front. And we have the smaller deck and we have the fence. Anything else has changed?
we promise, no. No.
You said you weren't a veteran at this. I don't know.
It's getting embarrassing at this point. But it's been a learning experience, and I thank you for your patience.
Okay.
It is on the original drawings.
Okay. That's this section here. It goes over the front wall. We approved it far bigger than that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what,
John asked about the deck in the rear, and the change, I mean, we approved it larger than it is today, this deck.
you approved it with the stipulation that it get reduced to under 400 square feet.
With both the decks,
Right.
which they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just give us a second, it's the first time we're seeing all these, so.
We tried to get this here sooner, it's not a friendly world.
Here we go, here's a floor plan. This is nice. Page 2 of this.
Right there. There's that room over in Wyndham. This smaller deck, and that, yeah, that's, you get it.
Okay. Anybody else? So we have, we got that part figured out, we got the dormer figured out. Let's go back to the fence. So you said the fence is gonna be, it's not on the property line on, what side are we looking at here? On the east side, so it's gonna be on the west side of the property line and the property line on the back border, correct?
I don't know. Exactly.
I'm looking at the proposed vinyl privacy fence,
So if
all
I'm-
dotted in red there, which is the backyard, up that abuts the Jeremiah and Doreen Beach property. Right here.
So I tend to look at it very, okay, so
you said you're gonna have a section of privacy fence.
In the back, proposed, so it would be vinyl, and then arborvitae, vinyl, and then arborvitae, in the back. It's, pretty much a dumping place in the back there, and now there's been an addition to what the fence that was grandfathered in, and I'm not, making a point of it.
Yep.
It's not very pleasant.
So you're putting in a white vinyl fence. How high is this fence?
Does the, what's that?
About 40 inches.
Well, that's the side, so the side is the see-through. Pardon my forgetfulness, is the zoning, does that allow for, is it the 8 feet by 8 feet, or what is the, what does the town allow?
Just the height is what is, yeah,
Right.
And what is, and what is allowed?
6.
6, so then I would stay with that.
Okay. And then you're going to section it 6 feet of 6 by 8 feet of fence, and then arborvitae, and then doing that pattern.
So will that be one full running fence?
And that's the way you're doing the whole fence, not just the back?
Just the back, the side will be black raw iron see-through decorative fence.
Okay.
So it won't look gritty and such, and there are beautiful, huge arborvitae trees that soak up great water there. So I would not want to take those down. It makes it difficult to, you have to be farther back than, so I would technically would end up losing over 2 feet of property, and then being able to maintain it, then with the trees there, and then there's stuff being lined up on the other side along it, so, it would, I could end up losing part of my property if someone else has to maintain it for me, with easement by prescription or any of those things, so.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right, at this time, we will open it up to the public for any questions or comments. If you do have any comments or questions, please address them to me as chair, and then we will direct them to the applicant. Seeing no commentary from the public, you have the last word, as we say.
I just want to thank you for your patience, this learning experience, and I think that everything, all future complications and remedies and how to
Excellent.
take care of my mother moving in, was already there. More feasible for her.
All right. Well, at this time, we will close the public hearing. Do you have the motion, Pam? Okay. A motion to grant a variance from section 2.G.B.II of the zoning regulations for application number 22-5300 For a modification to variance number 21-5284, to modify house design to include a full 25.25 by 6 full dormer on the northerly side of the dwelling, as per the drawings submitted, a 44.2 by 12 addition, and a 20 by 11 deck off the southerly proposed addition, and for a variance from section 2.g.d.III.G to allow fence to be located on property line as depicted on plan from Takara Land Services, entitled Revised Variance Plan prepared for Ingrid Pierce, 205 Perch Rock Trail, dated July 2022. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Congratulations, you're all set. Enjoy your project. Next is ZBA number 22-5304, special permit, 730 Lake Drive. Applicant Brian and Grace Sothergill, owner Able Century Limited, for an accessory apartment.
Good evening. I'm Brian Sothergill. My wife's name
Oh.
is
Oh,
Thank you. I'm sorry, your name and address for the record?
Brian Sothergill, 730 Lake Drive.
Okay.
My wife Grace is the name of the business. Our three little monsters.
Tell us about your project.
So we been through this committee a few times in the process of building our house over the last 7 years. This time, the reason I'm here is to fit out, to get a special permit for what is called an accessory apartment in the regulations. We think about it as a mother-in-law apartment, or it's really just for our parents today and grandkids, hopefully in the future as visiting guests. We have no intention of ever renting the space. But essentially, I'm here for a special permit, what's called accessory apartment permit in the code. And we just want to fit out the existing attic space in our existing garage. And so we came here in 2018 and got a variance to build a big stone garage. It has a second floor, which has knee walls. And we want to fit out that second floor space, which is currently being used to store extra building supplies right now. We'd like to fit it out to be, quote, an accessory apartment. Essentially, we'd have a bedroom, a bathroom, a little kitchenette area, and a small living room. In terms of the regulations, it's got to be less than 900 square feet. It complies with that. It's got an entrance on the side. That's one of the requirements as well. That's it.
Yeah, I was looking actually back over the minutes from January 2020.
Yeah.
And at the time, you were not a resident of Winsted or Connecticut or
Correct.
United States at that point.
Correct. Yeah.
So we have an affidavit here that's been signed and notarized from you talking about residency.
Correct. Yep.
So you are now a permanent resident of Winsted?
Correct. Yeah, so our detention, you know, we've lived in Hong Kong for a long time. My wife's originally from Hong Kong. We got frankly really fed up with the COVID restrictions over the last couple of years. And the politics in Hong Kong, you guys want to see, we had a bunch of protests that were really violent for a long period of time. And so we've really decided we want to shift our lives here and spend the majority of the year here. And so we moved back in April. We still have to go back, you know, to Hong Kong from time to time to my wife's whole family, basically. But our intention is to spend the majority of the year here.
Okay. I also noted in the minutes from 2020 that there was a change to the design to get it actually below the 900 square feet originally. I think there was a storage that was added to the top as opposed to, or to the basement, I'm sorry, to the first floor. Storage added there rather than the bathroom, and that brought it
Yeah.
underneath the 800,
Correct.
under the 900 square feet.
Yeah, so we had the bathroom, actually, the full disclosure here, we had the bathroom in the plan that was submitted to Pam, and we discussed it. You know, actually, none of us could really remember too clearly for the
Right.
accessory apartment. It was really, our thought was that bathroom would be for like the garage, and people outside the waterfront. But we've got other bathrooms that we use, so we decided, we were told by Pam that we could apply for a variance to get a bathroom there, we're still letting go. And not for that.
Yeah, that was being below the 900 square feet was an important factor, so. Okay.
How much square feet is it now?
The house?
Yeah.
No, the apartment?
Oh, the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, the apartment, it's on the plan,
Yeah.
175, I think?
Because when I went out to look at it, it looks a lot larger than that.
Which
Yeah, 'cause what we've given you is the
knee
garage
wall
space
changes.
as well. And so it's really just that upper floor area. So, yeah, our architect measured it, I think it's on here somewhere, I think it says 875.
Right.
And then Michael, in Pam's office, double checked our math, and apparently it came out right on top of our number. I think that 875 number's on here somewhere.
It is.
Yeah, well, I
It
see.
says where it says guest quarters. Pam, just to confirm the
Oh, yeah,
certificate,
I'm looking at the wrong
Yep.
floor.
all the mailings went out for this? Okay. Any other questions from the board? Nope? Okay. Then at this time, we will open it up to the public for anybody who'd like to speak towards this application. Seeing none, we will close the public part. Any final comments from you? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing. Any discussion amongst the board?
We're pretty sure that it's below 900 square feet then, right?
That's what
I
it
see
says,
what it
yep.
says, I know that.
Yeah,
But
the knee
numbers-
walls throw it
yes,
off, the building
right.
size is larger, but the knee walls throw it off, and the ordinance talks specifically about living quarters
Yes.
from the usable space of the interior walls.
Okay. And then Michael,
The knee wall will be
yeah,
that high.
Michael
Yeah.
was up there to look at it.
Yes, and it was compared to even when Mark Melanson was here. But
I actually read the minutes, and Mark had commented specifically that the removal of that bathroom and the storage space added here brought it below the requirement.
And just for the record, I'm only confirming because it was a direct inquiry, but really, the public hearing's closed, so, I don't wanna say too much either, but
Got it.
it was confirmed to answer your question.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Thank you. Motion to grant special permit for application 22-5300 for an accessory apartment in the detached garage under section 4-A of the zoning regulations as per the drawings submitted for the property located at 730 Lake Drive. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? You're all set, sir.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so for the purposes of this next application, it is for the record, it is a family member, and I will have to recuse myself and turn the meeting over to Philip Allen. And you'll see Ellie.
Yes. Okay. All right. As acting chair for this section of the meeting, I will open hearing for ZBA 22-5305, a special permit at 812 Huxley Road to remove existing non-conforming structure and replace with new structure in more conforming. My, oh my. Okay, so, for your Ms. Marino, I take it?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm Mary Ann Marino. My address is 631 Vera Road in Quinstead, and I am here to discuss a property I own at 812 Hosley Road. I'm on the Wetlands Commission, and people have been using this screen, and I thought it would be great if I could. But I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see. If not, we can just go back to old-fashioned paper.
I'm looking for output, I'm sorry.
What's that?
I'm looking for the. that might be it.
No, okay. We'll go back to paper. So much for being nifty and modern. Okay, so I have been before you a few times, and you granted me a permit to build a home that I'm building for my mother, in 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic. What happened since then, a few things happened since then. I didn't build the house, at first because of the pandemic, and then because of the very high cost of materials. I was waiting for that cost to come down. And what's happened since then is that my mother, our mother, Paul's mother too, has, her baseline has kind of slid a bit, and she really can't go up and down stairs easily. So that other house was a two-story home with the living space on the first floor, garage and a living space, and then a staircase up to the second floor where we had the bedrooms. So I went to my architect and said, what can we do to try to get a decent living space on one floor for my mother? And it was a struggle to do it on one single story and get a garage. That was not gonna be possible with the zoning regulations, restrictions that I have, setbacks and stuff with this house. So what we've done is we've designed, again, a two-story home, but the whole living space is on the second story, and the first story is garage. It's just garage space. Well, it's not just garage space. I did put a room on the first floor as well, with a bathroom for either myself to stay in, should she need care, or a caregiver. And then I am proposing to install a residential elevator to get her up to the second floor with a staircase that wraps around it. So, in terms of what was approved before and what's changing, I can take you guys through it. Let's see, the front setback, that was approved for the house was 35.75 feet. And then I had a porch that up a little bit. So that I'm proposing to be 38.2 feet, and the rear yard setback requirement's 35, so I'm still within what I'm allowed there. The impervious coverage increases from what it was, 7.9% to 14.6%, but it's still under the 3% that's allowed by the regulations. And the height has not changed. No, I'm pretty sure we haven't changed the height. And then I have provided plans that have elevations on all 4 sides, and also you guys can see the layout that's being proposed.
Right now, is that just an empty lot?
Yeah, it is, yes. So it did have a cottage on it, which John DeCara left on the plans.
Yes.
When I first came, it was still up. When I got the permit, I went ahead and took it down because it had a roof that failed, so it was a kind of a dangerous building there. Danny Stoughton did it, and he got all the permits to
It's
take
this
it
one
down.
right here?
Yeah.
That's gone.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
The reason I kept it as a replacement on the application was because that's how it was in the old application,
Right.
and I just thought it would, create more cohesion in the conversation.
That makes sense. I remember you being here and was discussing this before, and
Yes.
and so, yeah,
I had
having,
to come a few times
Yeah.
because I was just learning the process.
you're not the first person who's commented on the learning curve. All right. Anything, any questions?
Just for an FYI, the John DeCara survey for height says see architecturals, and I'm not seeing a height on the architectural, so, what the board would be approving is what is allowed through the zoning regulations as a maximum, which is 30 feet to the midpoint of the roof from the average pre-existing grade. You might need some grade shots of this area now, like before you get your building permit, provided that special permit's approved. I just want it on the record that you haven't really been provided with enough information on height in the sense of to know exactly what it is, but by approving the special application, you may want to, a special exception, you may want to understand, process, discuss, review, consider that we don't have heights and that you'd be, in effect, granting what was, what the maximum. You wouldn't be able to go beyond, obviously, because you need a variance, and the board is more or less not sure what the height is.
Would I be able to get approval with that as a condition? Or would it have to be within the 30 feet allowed?
Can we include not to exceed 30 feet?
Not to exceed what's allowed by the zoning regulations.
Yeah, we don't have to get into the details of what's allowed, we just stipulate that, that the building, you wouldn't be able to get a building permit until that's proven.
Right, I see one measurement on the first floor, I wanna say it's 10, on the, sheet 4, you'll see the east elevation, and then you see that there's a little slope. I don't know if that's just for art effect. I don't know what the topography is up there.
It looks like that's just for scale.
Well, the idea is actually to bring the grade up there a little bit,
But
so
the-
that if she has to access the outside quickly, she just has to go down a few steps.
And
But that grade isn't gonna raise the height of the house because it's coming in behind.
and it might, and you may, the height restriction is based off pre-existing conditions. What sometimes will happen is folks shift earth to gain a little height, and that's not how our regs read, so. But that wouldn't prevent you from moving the earth around for that purpose.
Just one question, I do notice one measurement up here, what is that 10-foot
That's the measurement you can see from the finish, yeah, for the east, it's only the first floor.
That's just the first floor alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what's the total square footage of the house?
It is,
I didn't see it here, really.
8 by 26.
she put that on there, did she? I'm not sure I have that for you.
You know, it's a 58 by 26. That, you know, that's 1,508 square feet with 2 levels, just over 3,000.
But,
And then with a partially finished. 1,500.
yeah, the downstairs, the only part of that that's living space is 12 by 21. The rest of it is garage.
1,508, 1,760.
Is it a good idea to have that on these before we approve it, or
No, the
Just shine
dimensions are what's key.
just, yeah?
That the dimensions of the elevation drawings match the dimensions on the site plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to officially announce the seating of the alternate Ellen Gunn for this hearing. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. So now you're legal.
Now I'm legal, thank you.
Oh dear. Well, any more questions from us? Hearing none, then we will, there's no public to offer an opportunity to speak, so the last word is yours.
Well, I don't have anything to add of substance except that I thank you for your time, because I've been here so many times. And Pam, and also Michael, who helped me with this one all the way.
All right, well, with that, I will close the public hearing on ZBA, application 22-5305, special permit for 812 Hostley Road, owner Marianne Marino. Motion. A motion to grant application 22-5305 for a modification to special exceptions 20-5240, number 19-5219, and number 19-5210, to build a 58 by 26 foot two-story house and to relocate the structure on the property per the drawing submitted for the property located at 812 Hostley Road. Is there a second, please?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, then all in favor? Opposed, abstained? Thank you. You have your project.
May this be my final visit.
Well,
Thanks,
unless
It's
you
always
decide you
open
want
to
to
the
do
public,
some.
you can come sit in anytime. you know.
That's true. You know, if you don't get enough of it at wetlands, you know, you can come here.
Yeah, a long one this time.
Uh,
Thank you, good night.
Oh, Ellen. You initial for the second,
Will you let Paul know that, I don't know.
and then we each initial.
In favor.
Well, thank you. So, let's see, now we have to reseat me and unseat Ellie officially.
So unseated.
Yes. So, unseated. Yeah, you guys can have that. All right, that's done. All right, so, let's move on. Where did my agenda go? Here we go. Okay, so, the minutes from May 24th meeting, right? That's the minutes we were most, no.
No, it was June.
That's what it
June
says.
28th.
Okay, so approval of minutes, we didn't have minutes on May 24th. So approval of minutes from June 28th, I think, is actually what we're doing.
Yes.
Any changes of fact from the minutes from June 28th?
I just, Mr. Chairman, I read it over, and on page 2, I just had a, I guess, a comment. In the first paragraph, where he said, he noted that the steel beams are rotted and in need of replacement. I'm a little bit concerned about the term rotted. Usually steel beams don't rot, they probably rust or corrode, and that's what we have in here. And on the second line, it says he explained that his clients were unaware of the fact prior to their purchase. And I'm just like to note those two things, that I do have a concern for that.
Well, I'm not, the minutes reflect what the applicant
Right.
said, right?
Yes.
Which is what they did say. So I understand,
I'm just wondering if that was an error.
we'd have to ask the applicant,
Yes, okay.
because that's the words that they used. So we can't, Pam records what they say to us, and then we have to record it as that. So any other changes of fact?
If it makes you more comfortable, you might want to change it to he characterized rather than noted. He characterized the steel
characterized, yes.
beams as rotted.
Right.
Concession. And you might want to, if you're so inclined, if it gives you greater comfort to approve these, you may want to change the next sentence. Instead of he explained that his clients were aware of this, you may instead read he reported that his clients, he relayed,
Do you, would that be sufficient?
Yes, that would be sufficient.
So we will change explain to relayed, and we will change.
relayed or reported.
Relayed.
Okay.
And he characterized rather than noted on the sentence.
Characterize these steel beams.
Yes, characterized the steel beams as rotted. With those changes, can we have a motion to approve the minutes?
As modified. As modified.
As modified. Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as modified.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed and abstained?
Abstain.
Because we weren't at the meeting last month, when it comes to approval of minutes, you abstain from the approval because you weren't actually
Right.
here.
So under the heading of correspondence, everybody got the newsletter from the Connecticut Federation of Planning?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
Oh.
I'll get you one.
We'll get you. One of the things I thought was interesting is electronic participation is permanent. So we can, and that's even if we're in-house here, we can still have people Zoom in to be part of the meeting. That was done under COVID protocols, but now it's been made permanent. So I thought that was an interesting part of the newsletter. And the other part from correspondence is we have an invitation, and where did I put in the pile of things here?
Thursday.
We have an invitation from the Planning and Zoning Board to join them for a joint meeting with P&Z, Inland Wetlands, and us at 4 p.m. in this room on Thursday to look for opportunities where we can streamline this for the public, so that people don't have to go to 4 or more boards for one approval. And I will be testifying, I'm only kidding. But anyway, that meeting is at 4. Who's going to attend? I'm going to attend. John?
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
I'm gonna try and be
Okay.
there, yes.
And it's going to be, we're invited as part of P&Z, and I'll find all those nice invitations that Pam made for us after we adjourn. But it's they're hosting the meeting, so it's their meeting, we are officially the guests, but hopefully we can find some ways to make this easier for people so that they can maybe come to one board and get multiple things done at the same time. Watch your head, Phil.
Yes, yes. It's hard though, because, you know, I can't get away from my head to look on it.
Yes, there you
So,
go.
so-
Any other correspondence, Pam?
And I'll send it to via email, and it's on the town's website. The draft of the Town of Winchester's affordable housing plan.
Yeah.
That was a requirement by the state as a modification to section 8-30G. And so there's been a subcommittee of about 6 or 7 folks delegated by the Board of Selectmen. There will be a public information meeting as part of Planning and Zoning's regular August 22nd meeting. In the meantime, the plan has been uploaded to the town's website, and there's also a survey that the committee is looking for residents only to review the draft and provide feedback. And so I'll be sure to get you the link for the survey and get you a copy of, and also a link, because some of you I know still can't open my emails.
Sometime I want to look at your email server and see why we can't
I'd
get
like
them.
you to, I know, it's definitely something to do with,
Because you set it up as a PDF and it doesn't come, right? Is that how you're
well,
sending
no,
it?
some folks get it, no problem.
Who gets it? You get them, you can open the attachments?
I get it, no problem.
Are you able to open them? I can't. You'd run? No. Ellie?
I think I've only gotten one. I don't know.
And
if it
have you opened, like, you don't have any problem, it's a PDF,
was-
do you click on it and,
I can't say that I did.
Okay. I mean, I get the WinDat thing, which I can't do anything with. That's probably what you get.
But you just get that and no PDF attached?
Correct.
That's weird.
Yeah.
you'll get an error message. That happened to me with Town of New Hartford,
Yeah.
you know, when they used to send me things, I couldn't open them either.
Well, we'll look for that
Yes.
affordable housing.
At least there's a
information.
link, and so you can take yourself there, you know, instead of seeing it. And then I'll have print copies available for folks on Thursday afternoon, and
I looked through it. It's a well done document. So, did good work on that part of it.
Good. All right, anything else?
Adjournment.
With that, we will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.